My friends and I at Bellessa are doing a massive giveaway later in the video, so be sure to stay tuned for details. But like, we don't need multiple songs talking about how big your boyfriend's is. We just don't need it. And trust me, I like a man, all right? I like a woman too, but I like a man, and I like everybody in between. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. Today's video is going to be on a little bit different of a topic that I usually cover on my channel, but some things happened here, or not here, but over on the TikTok that I want to talk about, particularly regarding Mikayla Noguiera, who we'll get into that is if you don't know who that is. And then it kind of just opened up like a whole just box of worms for me of something that I've wanted to talk about for a while as someone who also makes content on the internet, and that is just influencers who have completely lost the plot. And also, why do we go to war for billionaires on the internet? Okay. Mikayla Noguiera is not a billionaire, but one of the other people we're going to talk about in this video is. And then also, Taylor Swift released a new album today, and I have so many thoughts about Taylor Swift as a person. I have finally come out on my Instagram as a Taylor Swift hater, okay? This is not a new opinion for me, but I just have so many thoughts and opinions on like rich people as it pertains to how they're talked about on the internet by normal people. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna talk about. It's gonna be just kind of a hodgepodge think piece kind of situation type deal, because I just have thoughts and I'm talking about like a few different people. So yeah, let's just get into it. So first off, guys, my sinuses have been ruining my life for like the last 3 weeks. Okay, I don't know if you can hear it, but I can feel it. So if I'm like a little more breathy or whatever, I apologize. Okay, I also kind of feel like I look like SpongeBob when he had the suds right now with makeup on. Okay, so like here's the deal. We're gonna be talking about rich people online today. So the main thing that happened online that made me want to talk about this at all, the first thing, was Mikayla Noguiera, who, if you don't know who that is, she is a beauty influencer on TikTok, and she kind of became honestly like one of the biggest beauty creators on TikTok. And she has been in other scandals before. I made a video a really long time ago when she took a sponsorship with, I think, was it L'Oreal? Yeah. And she was selling one of their mascaras. And it was so painfully obvious that in between the before putting on the mascara and the after, Mikayla had slapped on some Demi Wispy eyelashes and made it look like that's what the mascara did for her, when it was indeed not that. She's also just been called out so many times for improperly disclosing brand partnerships and sponsorships, which is a legal requirement in America. And I think just anywhere else too. Like, if you're getting paid to talk about something, you have to tell people that you're getting paid to talk about it. Besides the beauty content, I would say the first video that kind of put her on people's radar before Mascara Gate and everything else was her coming online complaining about the life of being an influencer. And if you've ever heard anybody say, try being an influencer for a day, that's where that comes from.
Dressing. You know, I'm feeling like a fucking asshole today, so I'm gonna clap back at people because I'm tired. I'm so tired. Every single day, I get up at 6 a.m. I spend about 5 to 6 hours filming video content that ranges from 3 to 4 videos, and then I spend a few hours editing that video content. Then I have to work on my other social media profiles, whatever it may be, Instagram, whatever. It's fucking marketing. Then I'm in meetings from 12 to 5. I literally just finished work and it's 5:19. Try being an influencer for a day. Try it. Because the people who say it's easy are so far out of their minds, try it for a day. It is not for everybody. In fact, it's for a very small handful of people who can actually do this job. Because it's absolutely fucking insane. You do not want to have this job. I'm just saying.
And so this was like, oh, you work, what, like 10, 12 hours a day? Like straight? Wow. Good for you. Like, Because also, I think it's kind of like a well-known fact that content creators, influencers, and stuff like that, the amount of money that we, and I'm going to say we, make in comparison to the amount of work it would take someone working like a minimum wage job to make that much money is insane, okay? And I'm aware of that fact. I think a lot of content creators are aware of that fact, but it seems like the ones that get really, really popular are not. And this is not me coming from Mikayla from a place of jealousy. I need that out of the way right now. But it's just like, read the room, girlfriend. But before we get into the rest of today's video, I want to thank today's video sponsor, Bellesa. Now, if you've been watching me for any length of time, you know who Bellesa is. But if you don't know who Bellesa is a by women company for all things sexual wellness. Bellesa's main mission is to empower everyone to explore, embrace, and celebrate their sexuality. Now, today I'm here to tell you about something super exciting that Bellesa has to offer, and that is their line of completely silent vibrators. I mean silent, sub-audible. You cannot hear these things. Today I want to introduce you to the Whisper collection featuring Bellesa's Whisper Tech technology. And in this collection, we have the Whisper Bullet, the Whisper Vibe, and the Whisper Rabbit. Okay? And before I get into any of this, let me show you the Whisper Bullet and how quiet it is. I'm holding it to the microphone. And even though this one is tiny and the rest of them are silent, they still pack a serious punch, okay? The Whisper Bullet offers 5 vibration speeds, and the Whisper Vibe, Whisper Rabbit both offer 6 vibration speeds to be used externally or internally. And the external and internal stimulation that the Whisper Rabbit offers are independently controllable. All of them are also made of super soft silicone, so it offers a very comfortable experience. If you want to give the new Whisper Tech line a try for yourself, everyone who signs up to the giveaway using the link down below in my description will get either a free Whisper Vibe or a free Rose toy with any Whisper Tech purchase. And for those of you who don't know what the Rose toy is, this little diva went viral on the TikTok for good reason, because she packs a punch even though she is tiny, okay? So if you want to give Whisper Tech a try for yourself, use the link down below in my description to enter the giveaway with Bellesa and I. Whisper toys will always stay silent, but the question is, will you? Thank you so much to Bellesa for sponsoring today's video. And as always, thank you so much to you guys for continuing to interact with my content and with the brands so that brands like Bellesa want to keep working with me. All right, now let's get back into the video. So that actually is a perfect segue into what I'm about to talk about, because the newest controversy she has found herself in is that she did not read the room correctly yet again. And I will say, I do think Mikayla's content is first and foremost rage bait content, okay? I know she does it on purpose because TikTok encourages that, because TikTok pushes that kind of content, and it then gets a lot of views and it gets a lot of engagement, which then makes a lot of money for the creators making it. I think TikTok has just created like this very flawed system where rage bait is extremely profitable compared to any other kind of content. And yeah, anyways, Mikayla did not read the room again, and she posted, after a whole saga of like crying online because people were calling her ugly, which I will never condone, okay? If you're gonna criticize someone, don't come for their looks. You don't need to do that, all right? If there is actually fair criticism to be made, you do not need to come for their looks. She came online after a whole saga of crying because people were calling out her use of filters, also like severe use of filters, as a beauty influencer who's trying to sell you her products, and said, I blacked out, and proceeds to show us a two-part designer goods haul. And one thing about me is, even though I do feel as though I look like SpongeBob when he had the suds right now, is I love fashion, okay? I love fashion as an art. I love history of fashion and how it's come to be what it is today, especially with all the different houses and stuff like that. It's been a special interest of mine since I was just a teenager or even a preteen, okay? I did a whole project on Betsy Johnson in like middle school. This stuff that Mikayla hauled, and I just want this ugly as hell. And I'm being so honest because as much as I love fashion and I love learning about fashion houses, and sometimes I don't love it because a lot of them have really awful pasts, okay? And still have awful currents. They can all still make mistakes, all right? And a lot of the stuff that she hauled was a mistake, in my opinion. But that's like her deal. If that's her taste, then that's fine. I think it's just proof that money cannot buy taste. But the thing was this haul was, I think, equal to about 200,000 US dollars.
So, I blacked out. Not a question.
5,900.
Every day on the
3,650.
Oh my god.
3,200.
This bag is one of Prada's
1,923.
This is one of the coolest
3,750.
really comfy casual
2,050.
heavier winter
2,650.
You know I'm gonna get a ton.
These are like the closest suede boots I can find. 1,470.
It's like a utility boot.
1,890.
Anything that gives me
1,150.
Doc Matin, they do.
1,520.
It's a flat, but
975.
are you kidding me?
2,681.
Cool.
530.
A pink sneaker.
1,120.
Miu Miu top and score.
850. And 995.
Cute little shirt.
3,300.
Little Miu Miu tank.
862.
Brown Miu Miu t-shirt.
995.
T-shirt.
775.
Cropped sweater.
2,650.
The jacket to match the bag.
11,500.
Pink Miu Miu jacket.
2,750. 59,136, and that's just for part 1 of 2 videos.
Bag of my dreams. Just to
This is the closest one I can find, and this translates to like 9,000 US dollars.
clearly I'm gonna be
1,940.
so nice with all my full
4,400.
like the jam. Oh my god.
500.
Style.
995.
It's so nicely.
2,300.
Oh my god.
1,350.
This so
1,320.
shiny black heel.
1,130.
Like a poncho vest.
3,850.
Leather jacket. You cannot go wrong.
7,850.
Really nice.
4,450.
You're kidding. Like
Also, just like the bag, this is the only fur jacket that was like similar. 27,500. So I'm just gonna guess that the one that she got is around that price.
the sweater dress. Best that you guys saw me try. Bag was so Chanel.
10,900.
The gold.
3,225.
Are you freaking kidding me?
I couldn't find this on the actual Chanel website. This is like a reseller, and it's 7,450.
Classic. So classic.
4,900.
Actually the same thing.
I couldn't find the other cardigan, but I'm just gonna assume they're around the same price.
Literally the same thing.
7,950.
Just in a light color.
7,550.
Chanel keychain. That
1,875.
silver and the gold.
Those exact pairs that she got are not online, but these are the closest ones, so 675. And low-key, I actually want these.
A necklace.
6,350.
Lastly,
For the big one, 2,450. And then the smaller one, 1,725. The total for this video is 127,210. And then the total for both videos is 186,346. And this is obviously pre-tax, so with tax, that's like over 200 grand.
And first off, everything was ugly as hell. Secondly, so that made people mad because they're like, what are you doing spending that amount of money when you have it on things that were ugly as hell? Secondly, and most importantly, and what spawned this video from me is, oh my god, read the room. One thing I can't stand now is how increasingly out of touch influencers are becoming. And I think that's always been a thing, right? But I think now it's just more apparent because in America, things are not good, okay? Economically, societally, things not great. And they're going to probably continue being not great for a while. I think everybody, no matter what income you make, is feeling it in some way more than others. And I just thought this whole thing, if it was rage bait, whatever, still so distasteful right now. Again, like I said, TikTok kind of makes this, incentivizes creators to create this kind of content because it gets engagement, because it gets views. Like the fact that Mikayla just had enough money somewhere to go spend $200,000 on clothes and shoes and stuff, and there are people who are trying to figure out how to put dinner on the table for their families tonight, and she came online and just showed it so flippantly, is just such a perfect depiction of like where we are as a society, I feel, with social media and everything like that. The thing is I've seen a healthy amount of criticism of Mikayla for this video, which makes me really happy. But I have also seen people who are her fans trying to defend her, and a lot of people are like, it's her money, it's not your business, which is true. It is her money, it is not our business.
I'm gonna be a little bit controversial here, but Mikayla spending over $100,000 on her luxury shopping haul makes complete sense to me, and here's why it's gonna make sense to you as well. In 2025, Mikayla's earnings were expected to be about $7.8 million. So let's just say she did spend $100,000 on that shopping haul. Well, that's really only 1.28% of her income. And let me put it into perspective for you. There's a lot of money in the creator industry. If you make $100,000 a year, 1.2% of your income would be about $1,280. Let's just round it up to $1,300. And I can almost guarantee you that almost everybody in those comments and even watching my video spend more than $1,300 a year on coffee and lattes, eating out, and Sephora hauls. And you probably don't even blink an eye. And so Mikayla, in perspective, is only spending the same amount you are relative to her income. So why should she blink an eye?
So apparently everyone's mad because Mikayla got some designer bags. But here's the thing. For the last few years, I have watched you haters and losers tear that woman down with every possible thing you could say to her under the sun. She's ugly, she's faking her accent, she's stupid, she's this, she's that, she's fat, there's no way she fits in a size 2, she's so ugly. All these horrible things. I've seen the comments, I've seen the videos, and trust she's seen them too, because last week she comes online and falls apart because she was brought to a point where she has to fucking say out loud, I know I'm not a pleasant person to look at. And then the next week she turns around and she spends a good old chunk of that hate comment, hate watching money on something that makes her happy, and all of a sudden you want to be mad. All of a sudden you want to have any other reaction than, you know what, girl? Treat yourself. I don't think so. You can't have it both ways. And the craziest part is, you financed this operation and you're too fucking stupid to realize it.
But the thing is Mikayla has gotten in trouble in the past for saying that, I don't know what the percentage was, I'll try and find the video, but saying that a percentage of sales from a makeup palette collaboration that she did were going to go towards like charities and foundations and stuff that had to do with reproductive rights in America, because she was just so emotional about Roe v. Wade being overturned. And even though that happened years ago, the proof has never been able to be found and has never been shown to us that that's what she did. And I think, also, for the record, I've never been a fan of Mikayla. I have had her blocked for a very long time because I think she's obnoxious. Personally. Yeah, the proof of her donating that money has never been found and has never been shown to us, okay? And I do think after she posted that video, that made a lot of people go buy that palette because they wanted to feel like they were doing something. As far as we all know right now, she just reaped the rewards of saying she was going to donate to these things, and she never actually did.
I'm just keeping it straight with you. It is not easy for me to talk about these things, because I have a lot of anxiety about it. But the Roe versus Wade decision pisses me the fuck off. And fuck Clarence Thomas. I am aggressively pro-choice. I have voted blue since I turned 18, and I was raised in a Democratic household, and that is never going to change. Why would they do this? I don't have all the right words, but I'm pissed. This country is going so fucking backwards. It is going so fucking backwards. How dare they fucking say that they are considering overturning the right to gay marriage and fucking contraceptive protection, and like, what the fuck is going on? That is how I feel. And I can't fucking stay silent anymore because I'm losing my fucking mind. I feel so helpless, but I know that I can do more, and I am linking a lot of places where you can find resources and donate in my bio. I have also made a personal decision to donate half of my earnings of my new glam light collection to these causes because I'm pissed that this time it happened and I don't... These people lied to get onto the Supreme Court. These people should not be on the Supreme Court. Do people not realize what this does? Like, are people fucking... This doesn't stop abortion. This stops safe abortion. You know how many people are gonna fucking die, bro? Because they have to get an unsafe abortion? You know how many transgender individuals, people of color, black? Do you know what this does? They don't have the same privilege that white people do. And they will suffer, and that is not fucking fair. So I'm just sick of being silent on shit out of fear, and I'm not gonna do that anymore. I am not gonna do that anymore. Fuck Clarence Thomas. Links in my bio.
And she's also had some other giveaway drama in the past and everything. And so like all of this just kind of leading up to this extremely distasteful designer haul was just kind of like I think it popped the bubble for a minute and a lot of people were mad at her. But like I said, a lot of people were defending her. I think this just like, oh, it just grinds my gears when I see people who are not able to think critically about a stranger online that they've never met before. Like a lot of people and like I said, okay, a lot of people were saying like it's her money, it's none of your business, which is true. But also they're saying like, oh, it's a write-off. Like she did it, she showed it so she could write it off on her taxes. And some people were saying that as like an excuse as to why she did it. And some people were saying it as a criticism, which I think whether or not it can be written off on your taxes is like, whatever. Like I have all these trinkets back here, right? Did I acquire them just over time? Yeah. But like all of these ones right here that are new, are they going to become set pieces because they're in videos now? And I can write them off on my taxes? Yes, I'm going to do that. And that again, even as an argument for either side, as an argument, is just showing what an insane amount of privilege that content creators have, because we can finagle so many things to be for our business and to ultimately help us financially in the long run that we buy that other people can't. And so for me, just saying, oh, it's a write-off, it's just again showing her privilege and showing that people aren't putting together that writing this $200,000, like small home's worth, depending where you are. I mean, that'll buy you like half of, maybe a quarter of a house in Denver right now, but maybe half of a townhome, okay, in Denver right now. But like more than some people's, more than my annual salary, more than a lot of people's annual salary in clothes, shoes, and handbags. But then is one privilege. But then being able to turn around and write it off on your taxes so you don't have to pay as much in taxes at the end of the year is a whole other level of privilege that so many people do not have. The thing about tax write-offs is you know what else you could do to write off on your taxes to owe less in taxes? Donate to charity. You could donate $200,000 to charity, okay? And that is where I think I have such a big issue is like, I think the most powerful way to help people when you can do it is to do it with your money, because money is so hard to come by for so many people. And if you have the ability to give a little bit extra to other people who don't, then like, I think that is one of the most powerful ways to help people. Are there other equally as powerful ways? Absolutely. But I think if you have the money to give, because we live in a capitalistic society, I think helping people with your money is like one of the most like powerful ways you can help people. Forget what's happening around the world. We should be talking about what's happening around the world. But as an American, look around for like 2 seconds and see that maybe it's not the best decision to post your $200,000 luxury haul. That's like one side of the coin. But in these videos, she says something about feeling like Becca Bloom, okay? And I'm about to tell you who Becca Bloom is right now. So Becca Bloom is another influencer online who she became popular, I believe, for giving like dating advice to women, because she found like the most perfect man for her, which is great. I'm so happy for her. Everybody deserves that. Like genuinely everybody deserves that. She found the most perfect man for her. So she started giving advice on like things that she did, things like boundaries she had for herself, stuff like that. And then it came out as like her platform started to progress that, oh, Becca's like wealthy. Like she's not rich, she is wealthy, okay? And the thing about Becca Bloom, she's the daughter of a billionaire. Her parents founded a very big tech company and she is the child of them. So she has generational wealth. On top of that, Becca also, she has her own company. Fact of the matter is she is a billionaire. She is a child of generational wealth. And her whole online persona has now basically become talking about her laughably extravagant lifestyle that like nobody could fathom ever living who isn't living it. As if it's just Tuesday, right? Because it is. Because for Becca Bloom, it is just Tuesday. She talks about how she bought her dream bag at Hermes, but then when she shows it, she has like no excitement on her face. And I'm like, girl, you just said this was your dream bag. Why are we not more excited?
Unbox my dream bag. I'm currently in Paris shopping for wedding shoes and I thought I would stop by Hermes. As you can tell by the shape of the box, it's a mini Kelly. Oh my goodness. It's a mini Kelly in box leather in this Ferrari red color with a white outward stitching. Absolutely obsessed. I've been asking for everything in this box leather because it's super hard and sturdy but also really smooth. Yay.
Like I bought last year, and I know this is a privileged thing, okay? Last year I bought myself my first real designer bag that wasn't like Coach or Kate Spade, which those are, I would consider those also like a designer as well. But I bought myself a Louis Vuitton Speedy that was very, very well loved before I got her because I wanted her to look a little disheveled, and it was like $600. So much money on a thing that carries my shit around, okay? But I love her down so bad, okay? Like, but I still am so excited about it. But I think it's just because like I'm a normal person. I come from a very like middle class family in the Midwest. Seeing Becca Bloom talk about all these like luxurious things as if it's Tuesday, because for Becca Bloom, it is Tuesday, is just, I understand why people like it because I like it. I liked it for a while too because it's almost like camp in a way. There was like another video where she found a laptop case that she loved so much, but they didn't make it in the size that for the laptop that she already had. So she went and bought a MacBook in the size that the case came in so she could have the case. I understand, okay, why people eat this shit up. Because to me, I kind of compare it to why people love watching reality TV shows like The Real Housewives and stuff like that. It's because, and on Becca's level, it's like a whole other level of wealth that we know that we are never gonna get because it's not ethical to get there. First of all, which we'll get to, we're never gonna get there. And so like seeing her talk about feeding her cat caviar, which by the way caviar is like farmed is like super awful. But feeding her cat caviar in the morning.
My cat's breakfast with me. Oscar and I are actually eating from matching chargers this morning. Sushi grade salmon sashimi. Our chef also made Oscar this tuna bone broth blend, which smells like a stinky sock, but to each their own. Soft boiled quail eggs. I'm just gonna give him one because Oscar's also a little bit overweight. I don't know if these eggs are really hard to peel or if I'm just really bad at it. I think it's the latter. We have some salmon roe caviar for seasoning. I'm not gonna put too much of it because I don't want to overwhelm him. Freeze-dried codfish, which I'm just gonna sprinkle. Oscar's not gonna eat these, but for presentation we have some edible flowers. I always put a blueberry in his plate so he could play around with it after he's done. Not happy staring at him eat from the window.
There's just something very like campy about it and like laughable about it to me because it's just so unattainable. And I think that's why a lot of people are more praising of Becca Bloom than they are Mikayla Noguiera for some reason. Because Becca Bloom, like I said, she talks about her wealth like it's Tuesday, because it is. And there's just something about it. One of the main things I see people say about Becca Bloom is that she riches right, okay? And this is something that I see a lot of people talking about on TikTok when it comes to people whose like entire online persona is just being rich, is like, oh, I love people who I love rich people who rich right.
I love seeing rich people do rich correctly. I love seeing people sit in their wealth so comfortable. Becca Bloom, for example, when she comes on this app and she's like, oh, I love this laptop case so much, so I just had to go and buy a new laptop so that it would fit. Yes, ma'am. Yes, bitch. Like, period. And I think it's so fucking annoying when rich people and celebrities and people who are well off and we know it try to act like they're relatable and like try to act like they know us and try to act like they live the same way. Like, bitch, no. I want to see what your money has afforded you in life. I want to see the luxurious things that you buy. I want to see where we're going. I want to live vicariously through you. And I know I'm not alone. And I feel like the ones who like make their content and they try to be relatable when they're not like us, they're gonna flop and people are not gonna be happy about it. And there's always gonna be something, I mean, people always have something negative to say, but I mean, like, people are not going to be eating it up as much as they would, because Becca Bloom immediately was getting ate the fuck up because she sits so comfortably in her luxury. And that girl is wealthy and she comes from wealth, and she will have like videos about like not only just like the nice things that she has, it's not in her face either. Like, it's very much like, this is what I'm wearing today, this is what I have, period. As if like, I don't know, I'm like, period, girl. And that's that shit we love. I think we just love authenticity.
For me, I understand that statement. Like, I understand that it's not like that serious, and I understand that there are bigger conversations to be had around like just in general. But for me, and I don't know the kinds of charity work that Becca does or does not do, or her family does or doesn't do, but the fact of the matter is there is no ethical way to become a billionaire. There's no ethical way to hoard that amount of wealth. And personally, I think the difference between the rich now and the rich of yesteryear, and by yesteryear I mean like a long, long time ago, which they all had their issues too, okay? There's a reason why we have very important like buildings or universities or buildings at universities or whatever in like some of America's first wealthiest families' names, is because they gave a certain level of their wealth back to society, whereas now it's become a thing to just like flaunt it on social media as if it's not a big deal. And the thing about Becca Bloom too is I saw Kiki Chanel did a video on all of this as well. And I promise you, I had this planned and like kind of scripted before that video came out. I'm not copying Kiki, I promise. Is that she tries so hard, not even so hard, but she just slips in little things to like try and be relatable to her audience. There was a thing where I can't remember what was it, Bulgari? I think it was Bulgari. She went to like a jewelry showing, and something she saw there, she said that she really liked it because Kiki talked about this in her video. She really liked it because it reminded her of a book that she used to read when she was a kid called The Rainbow Fish.
Jewelry shopping with me. Bulgari flew us out to Italy to look at their newly unveiled collection, Polychroma. They left us some goodies in our hotel room. Had some French toast for breakfast, did a quick walk on the treadmill before heading to the high jewelry showroom. Upon arrival, we were escorted by their team through the emerald, ruby, and sapphire rooms. Any pieces that caught my eye were brought to the private room. Next, I tried on the Kronos Legacy Centaur, which featured an 11.92 carat emerald. I thought these ones were pretty cool because they use actual ancient Rome coins and the super thin watch. Before touring the sapphires, we stumbled across this VR room. Finally, we were escorted to the private room to try on all the pieces that caught my eye. You see these clouds on the pendant? They were actually removable earrings and you can wear them together. Ooh, I wanted to show you guys this hidden treasures bracelet with a hidden watch and detachable earrings. It reminded me of my childhood favorite book, The Rainbow Fish. One of the snake necklaces I tried on was actually a convertible choker that doubled as a watch. After the showroom, we headed to dinner, and David wants me to clarify that this was my bag, not his. We had a spritz before getting seated for dinner. My favorite dish was this risotto. And that concludes our side quest. Happy was so excited to see us home again.
And I think a lot of us read The Rainbow Fish when we were a kid. And so we were like, oh my God, yes, buy that multi-million-dollar item because it reminds you of our favorite childhood book. When so many people will never see multiple millions of dollars in their entire lifetime, and she's just spending it on like jewelry or a handbag or something. She like puts in these little like tidbits of relatability into her content, when the fact of the matter is it is so comically unrelatable. We used to have more altruistic wealthy people in our society who actually like put the money back into society for like, even if they kind of sucked otherwise, at least they kind of did that. Whereas like we don't have any of that now. And I think I saw a statistic saying that like the wealth discrepancy now is larger than it was during the French Revolution. And I think that is just so fascinating. I think there is like an aspirational quality to it as well, because Becca also gives like working tips. And I think one of them was like she wakes up at like 5 a.m. or something. So it's
important habit that I will never give. The single most important habit that I will never give up is waking up at 5 a.m. every morning to walk on a treadmill. It's not about fitness or health related reasons. It's more so about training discipline throughout the day, and here's why. Research from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology has shown that willpower is strongest in the morning and declines steadily throughout the day. Starting with something challenging in the morning trains your brain in handling discomfort, making everything else easier in comparison. There's this book called The Hard Thing Rule by Angela Duckworth, which essentially shows that grit, aka a combination of perseverance and passion, is a much stronger predictor of success than just a high IQ. High grit individuals were 62% more likely to achieve their long-term goals. A Harvard study found that those who embrace this controlled stress, for example, an early morning exercise, experience 40% lower cortisol levels and also significantly higher cognitive function. Pushing through something difficult earlier on in the morning forces the mind to adapt, and the more your mind adapts, the easier the hard things become.
Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work.
It's like, oh my God, if I wake up at 5 a.m. and work, I'm going to be a billionaire just like Becca Bloom. No, you're not. I love you so much. No, you're not. Unless you just don't care about people, then maybe, who knows? There is no ethical way to hoard that amount of wealth. And I know Becca is a child of billionaires. But like for me with Becca's content, I kind of had to stop watching it for like the laughable like camp of it all, because I found out she signed with like an influencer talent agency, and she has done brand deals on her platforms. She did brand deals on her wedding day. And I just have to be like, when is it enough? Why do billionaires need to have a social media platform that they make money off of? When is it enough? And so she can say it's something she enjoys doing all she wants, which it very well might be. When is it enough money? Okay, like that's my main thing. Something to be questioning, okay? But then again, on the topic of relatability, I want to talk about Taylor Swift for a second, okay? Taylor Swift came out with a new album. And one thing about me, I don't care. I will get down to like early, like super curly hair Taylor Swift with the acoustic guitar music, okay? But that's purely for nostalgic reasons. But newer Taylor Swift, I think the last album I actually kind of liked was Folklore, but that was after a dry spell for me of not liking her music. I did like Folklore, okay? One thing about Taylor Swift is she has done this thing where she has made this like parasocial relationship with her cult-like fan base, because it is a cult. You cannot convince me otherwise. Of being like, oh, I know how you guys feel, and you know how I feel, and we're all just girls together who like boys, and then boys treat us bad, and then like whatever. And I do think there is some misogyny, like there is a lot of misogyny in the criticism around Taylor Swift and her music, and of how a lot of it is about her relationships. But like for me, that's just her lived experiences, and like art is a way to process those emotions and those experiences. So I've never come for her about that. But she's so successfully done this thing, which by the way is extremely curated with marketing professionals and public relations professionals, of, oh, I just know how you feel, I care about you so much. And so then her fan base is like, oh my god, Taylor, you get us. Taylor Swift is a billionaire, guys, and I just need, and in the early days, I understand, okay, I get it. And because there was a certain level of authenticity there, right, in the early days. But now as it stands, she's a billionaire. And there is no, like I said with Becca, there's no ethical way to achieve that amount of wealth. The amount of damage that this one singular person is doing to the environment with their private jet usage is astounding. Another thing nobody wants to talk about is how Taylor Swift has this massive platform which she can do so much with by just saying anything, and she chooses not to, when arguably it is like the most important time to do so. And should we be turning to Taylor Swift for the most like deep political or societal commentary? No. But can her word do whatever it needs to do? Yes. Her fiance Travis Kelce and her friends, Patrick Mahomes' wife, I think her name is Brittany. Is it Brittany? I think it's Brittany. And other people that she surrounds herself with very publicly are very public Trump supporters, okay? I get mad that she doesn't use her platform for more stuff, but like at the same time, I think if she said anything in regards to politics and like being more progressive, it would immediately be canceled out by the fact that she is marrying someone who surrounds themselves with Trump supporters, but then also is friends with people who are very publicly Trump supporters right now. And I don't care. It's more than just politics. It's, do you care about the people around you or not at this point? And I think Taylor Swift's new album is a perfect example of, wow, she never has given a singular shit about you ever since she acquired a certain level of wealth. Swifties and anti-Swifties alike are all like, wow, what the hell is this album? What are these lyrics? Miss Girl, what are you doing?
If you hate Taylor Swift's lyrics, just pretend they were written by MF Doom.
I was your father figure. We drank that brown liquor. You made a deal with this devil. Turns out my dick's bigger. You wanna fight, you found it. I got the place surrounded. You'll be sleeping with fishes before you know that you're drowning. Whose portrait's on the mantle? Who covered up your scandals? Mistake my kindness for weakness and find your card canceled. I was your father figure. You pulled the wrong trigger. This empire belongs to me, Taylor.
It is laughably bad, okay? Some of the songs are like, you typed into like ChatGPT, make a pop song about anything using relevant like online language. That's what some of these songs sound like. And I think for a lot of people who haven't liked her music, we're like, wow, the Swifties are finally kind of hearing her how we've heard her for so long. And a lot of the lyrics and stuff, again, just feels so incredibly tone deaf. Everything that's happening right now in America. And like Taylor Swift is like America's sweetheart, right? And so it's like just a slap in the face. Comparing herself to Elizabeth Taylor right now. And saying how she prefers her friends canceled right now, when canceled has become, I feel like personally, such a like right-wing dog whistle now. Like, I don't need to know how big your boyfriend's dick is either, okay? None of us need to know that. I know I talked about sex toys and stuff on my channel, but like, we don't need multiple songs talking about how big your boyfriend's dick is. We just don't need it. And trust me, I like a man. All right, I like a woman too, but I like a man, and I like everybody in between. All right.
Penis. Penis. My boyfriend's got a penis. Yeah, I like his tree, which means wood, which stands for penis. You think I'm I'm a good girl, but I'm actually a bad girl. Guess you didn't think I was a freak like that. I am. Oh yeah, I'll prove it again.
I just think this, for me, this, there's so many more eloquent conversations being had about this album and how bad it is. But for me, I think in terms of how I'm talking about it here, this was just slop produced by a billionaire because she needs to keep making money and she needs to keep feeding her fans to make her more money. Maybe her fans might be waking up to that a little bit. And don't come for me for hating on her because she's a woman, because she is literally the antithesis of a girl's girl, okay? And like I said on my Instagram stories when I was talking about this, if you want a more poignant depiction of the life of a showgirl, might I suggest The Last Showgirl with Pamela Anderson. Hi, editing Megan here. I'm having to re-upload this, so I'm taking the opportunity to interject here a little bit. I feel like I didn't really do a good enough job maybe of like explaining why there's no ethical way to become a billionaire. And like, first and foremost, like just the sheer amount of hoarding of wealth you have to do to get to that point is like the first thing. Like the fact that you're keeping all of this wealth to yourself and you're not redistributing it into society. That's the first way. That's like the first biggest way that it is like unethical to become a billionaire. But when it comes to Taylor Swift and when it comes to other billionaires too, like you have to like step on and manipulate and push so many other people down to get to the level of being a billionaire in any industry. But I think we know a lot of how Taylor Swift has done that, and in regards to other artists and things of that nature. And so like one really good example was last year when Charlie XCX was en route to be the #1 spot in the UK, which I want to say, correct me on this, Charlie XCX fans who are better historians than me, I think that would have been the first time that ever happened to her. But then Taylor Swift released a UK exclusive version of the Tortured Poets Department, and it was only available for sale until midnight Thursday evening that week, which would be the end of the chart tracking week. So it produced a surge in Taylor Swift's streams of that album. And it essentially like chart blocked Charlie from getting to number 1 on the UK charts for her album Brat, which was like a cultural shift, like in my opinion. And so Brat got #2, and Tortured Poets Department, which I heard was also dog shit in terms of lyrics, achieved I'm reading a 6th non-consecutive week at #1, which was the longest she had at the top of the UK charts. So basically, in order to keep herself at the #1 spot in the UK charts, she and her team, which like Taylor's team works for Taylor, so she has to have some say in this. There is no way you can deny that. They strategically launched a UK specific version of her album, which, mind you, she puts out 500,000 versions of these albums and makes them all just a little teeny bit different to make her fans buy them, stream them, whatever. And it then also just pushes more money into her pocket. But she released this album very strategically in the UK to keep her spot at #1 because she just couldn't let Charlie XCX have #1 when Brat came out. And I think that's just gross. Another really good example of this is when Olivia Rodrigo released her first album. I think it was like in a magazine interview or something. She said that one of the songs on the album was inspired by one of the songs or just one of Taylor's entire albums. I can't really remember, but it was inspired by Taylor Swift, like things that Taylor Swift had put out in the past. And Taylor's team found out about this. So Taylor and her team found out about this, and Taylor's team fought to get and won to get Taylor a writing credit on a song on Olivia Rodrigo's album on Olivia Rodrigo's debut album, mind you, that Taylor had nothing to do with. Okay, Taylor Swift at this point, I believe, was already at billionaire status. If not, she was very close to it. And Olivia Rodrigo was debuting her first album when she was 17 years old. So when I say that Taylor Swift is the antithesis of a girl's girl and an unethical billionaire like the rest of them, this is what I mean. And yeah, so I just wanted, there's more examples of this out there, but these were the two that I just wanted to put in here while I'm having to re-export and upload this. So yeah, thank you and good night. And I think it's super interesting too how people's attitudes shift towards female billionaires as opposed to male billionaires, because male billionaires, I feel like a lot of people just hate, rightfully so. I feel like people are almost afraid to criticize female billionaires or like ultra wealthy women because people can come back at you and be like, well, you're just a misogynist. Like, no, I don't care what gender you are. Accumulating and hoarding a certain amount of wealth and not giving any of it back to society, or giving such a small amount of it back in comparison to the amount of money that you have back to society, is something to be critical of, no matter what gender you are. Yeah, I don't know, different video for me. But I just needed to talk about this, and I've been talking for 45 minutes on this. So let me know what you think down below. Leave a plain emoji down below if you made it this far, because Taylor Swift is in fact Boeing Barbie. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much to Bellessa for sponsoring today's video, and helping me be able to give back to people around me who need it with the money that I make sometimes. Because I do that. I don't talk about it a lot, but I do that because I feel like I should. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, drink your water, take your meds if you need them, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.